currently. You could actually just fix this, couldn't you? Some are good, some aren't. One thing's for sure, when I'm interviewing them, there will be no bull.
This is Sky News Business.
Welcome back. Well, regular viewers of this show know that when it was launched in May 2010, about the same time as the mining tax actually, I opened with the view that our economy seemed to be going backwards and there was no debate about new industries and being a clever country, not just a quarry. This year I opened with a campaign to be positive about the challenges of this new economy, the restructuring, and my next guest fits that bill perfectly. Adrian Turner is the founder and CEO of Makana Corporation in Silicon Valley, the immediate past chairman of our biggest expat group, Advance Australia, and in September 2011, the World Economic Forum in Geneva, Switzerland, selected him from a field of more than 800 nominees as one of the 25 technology pioneers for 2012. He's in Australia to launch his new e-book, Blue Sky Mining. Of course, it'll be an e-book. He's from Silicon Valley. Building Australia's next billion-dollar industries. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So, yes, it's an e-book. That's obvious. I mean, I still like the hard copy, but for those who want it, let's just say it's going to be, it's an online thing. Okay. Tell me the Adrian Turner story, just condensed, on how Aussie boy gets to Silicon Valley, makes good, named by World Economic Forum.
Yeah, with a lot in between.
Yeah, but just the quick version.
So I moved over to America about 12 years ago. My wife is American, and have started or been involved with several businesses before launching Makana in mid-2004.
You were always a geeky person?
No, actually not. I'm not a programmer. My background is actually marketing and finance, but
why Silicon Valley? I have to say it, I will declare here an interest. I spent a year there. Wouldn't say it was the greatest year of my life. Not a fan of the area. Love Stanford University, but you know, death in Palo Alto, I call it. Why did you go there, if you weren't a geeky person?
Yeah, part of it was family, and part of it is that Silicon Valley is the entrepreneurial hotspot in the world. I mean, there is, if you want to build businesses, there's absolutely no better place in the world to be today.
But they're new tech businesses. Did you have the idea first, or I've got to say it's like a gold rush there? People come there, I don't think have even got an idea, but they just think the streets are paved.
No, it wasn't that. I mean, we built the business, actually started the business without the specific idea of what sort of business to build this time around. So it was a group of people I wanted to build a business with, and we identified a problem in the market, and then we've chased it for the last 7 years. Is
there a simple way you can tell for people who aren't tech savvy what you actually do?
Yeah, so we're a security company, and we're moving to a world where everything is connecting to the internet: phones, cars, medical devices, and we secure those things.
How? Look, I mean, no, what I'm trying to say is, how do you, there are just so many people coming up with ideas in Silicon Valley, yeah, with the next big thing. What is it that makes yours special?
Well, you've got existing security companies like, you know, a Symantec, a McAfee. These companies have secured PCs, and the world that we're moving to requires completely different approaches for protecting the systems. So there's technology barriers to entry, and it's a growth market. Already there's 5 times more of these non-PC devices connected to the network than PCs, and that market's growing twice as fast. Okay,
given, we'll get to the book in a minute, but just it's relevant what your US experience is, because you're advocating that we need to think more like it. Lots of, as I say, I mean, literally at Stanford, you know, there were kids in there who were taking calls and all, you know, would leave class because they thought they'd got their venture capital up. How hard is it for an Australian there, and what's the key thing that you got out of it that has brought you to this point you want to replicate it here?
Yeah, so Silicon Valley, the entrepreneurial mindset is absolutely pervasive, and I'll give you a true story. So I was...
oh, good, because I'm not bad on untrue ones, but you know.
So I ran marketing for one of the overhyped .com companies in 2000 in Silicon Valley. And if you remember at the time, everyone was struggling for a business model. And literally walking down the street, a panhandler stopped us and said, "Who do you work for?" And we told them. And he said, "Well, what's your business model?" It's that pervasive. You go into a cafe.
He was probably running a company the week before.
Yeah, exactly. But it is. You go into a cafe, and on the one side you've got, you know, a group of 20-something-year-olds plotting to build the next Facebook. On the next side you've got Stanford professors trying to...
Well, you see, I was talking to someone about that the other day. There's a very simple reason. There's free wireless all through Silicon Valley. I mean, they started, I think it was Google, didn't they? Wanted all their employees to have it. So anywhere you go, you can sit around the coffee shops. Why we're even arguing on it? They should make the whole of Sydney, same thing. I mean, it's very simple, isn't it?
Completely agree. Particularly when you're starting a business, you can't afford an office, so you all have to work remote and you have to be able to communicate.
Doesn't make it fun for having coffee there because everybody's sitting there with the white apple, the cold side there. But now tell us why you decided to, I mean, lots of people, lots of successful Australians go over there, have success. Why the need to replicate it here? Why the need to write the book? What motivated you to do that? What's wrong? You said you felt that, you know, we're losing it.
You know what it was? So I feel like a sense of cause as well. This thing is bigger than me, and I've given time back to non-profits to advance. It is. It's bigger than me, and I think that one of the challenges with Australia is that people do make money and then they go sit on a beach and they don't give back to the ecosystem. And I think that everybody has an obligation to do that and stay involved.
You say the challenge from within threatens the very future of the entire country. These are big words. What is our problem? I mean, I rant on it every night, but what do you think our problem is?
I think there's an issue that's going to absolutely define where Australia sits in the world in the 21st century, and I don't see people talking about it here. And a symptom of that was one of the big limited partners. They give money to the venture capital firms, and it was one of the big Australian funds. And he was over in Silicon Valley to put money into a US-based venture capital firm. And I talked with him and said, what's wrong with this picture? And he said, the reality is that the Australian ecosystem is broken. It's absolutely broken.
You keep talking about the ecosystem. I sound like I'm in some biosphere thing. You mean the business model. I mean, you're talking the general economy. It's not a green thing you're talking.
No, absolutely. So it's the...
Don't talk Silicon Valley at us. We haven't got to that language, thank God, yet.
It's the business conditions.
Right, the business conditions.
It's the mindset of an entrepreneur.
Well, we don't have that much money, do we, to throw around? That's always been the problem. I've been doing this small business shows, whatever, for 20 years. I mean, there's just not, as you say, they'll go to Silicon Valley, but they're not going to throw it at anyone here, are they?
Yeah, but the amount of money we're spending on CSIROs, CRCs, even academia, right? The invention side. This country is full of brilliant people that have invented amazing things, but where we fall down is taking those inventions and turning them into global businesses.
It's commercialising them. And I notice you say that innovation does not mean a company. I mean, innovation's not an invention or a creative idea, but that's been our problem. I mean, I know I've talked to people on the CSIRO and a lot of those things we have very successful. How do you change that? That's a cultural change that'll take a generation, won't it, to get the money people to think like that? Though we did have it in the 2000s, we had Tin Shed and all those things.
Right.
They lost their money, burned it all up, and forget it now.
Yeah, but part of that can be fixed. So if you look at Silicon Valley, by contrast, so 60 years ago there was no Silicon Valley. It was orchards, and through conscious investment over time from government and the private sector, now you've got a region that's bigger than the Greater Sydney area, population of 2.5 million people, and the leading 150 companies there have a combined market cap of 1.55 trillion compared to 1.4 for the whole of the ASX.
Okay, but you're talking a bit of political will there, aren't you? Do you notice what's happening here? Would you actually believe the people, you know, would get behind that here? Do you think we have that kind of foresight at our political level?
No, I'm really disappointed. When I read the paper from overseas, when I talk with people here, when I meet with entrepreneurs that are leaving the country, it's disappointing to me the bickering and the short-term thinking that's entered politics here in Australia.
That was before our last debacle a week ago, yeah.
And what's required to solve this for Australia is to create the conditions that allow us to continue to create or to create billion-dollar industries. I think requires a group analogous to the military. If you think about what the military does.
You're talking an army takeover to create Silicon Valley.
No. If you think about the military.
A coup.
No, an entrepreneurial coup.
Okay.
They could be worse. But if you think about the military, they serve government, but they also embark on missions that span multiple terms of government. And the only way to solve this is through consistent investment over decades. It's not going to get solved under the current political structure.
Okay, but I don't just want to blame Canberra, though they should take a lot of the blame. Let's look at another thing. I constantly hear this problem, and also from, I had National Treasurer on the other day, not Clive Palmer, Mesoblast, because you talk about biotech.
Yep.
Silvio Itescu. Now, here's a man, you know it, he's an Australian company, Australian scientist leading in regenerative medicine. He pointed out, and many people do, superannuation funds, our money, they're holding it for us, custodians for it. Shouldn't they be investing more of it back into things like this?
They absolutely should. I mean, we have a future fund that's about $70 billion. And if you look at how that money is managed elsewhere, about 1% goes into high-risk assets, which is venture or private equity. That's $700 million that could be put to work in the Australian venture and private equity industry. In the last year, there was a total of $120 million raised from 3 funds, compared to 194 funds that raise money in the US. So there's absolutely no money here for entrepreneurs, and that's why they're upping and leaving.
Well, no money, and as I said, we talked about the lack of political will, the superannuation, and then you've got to talk about the business leaders and the financiers. Right. You keep mentioning the risk issue here. I mean, we're just so conservative, aren't we?
Yeah, it's there's this stigma around failure, and the reality is that you have to fail a lot to get to success.
Except if you're a big mining thing and you buy say a television station and lose the money. That's okay, apparently.
So there's this stigma about failure that is inherent in our culture, and we have to change it.
Well, let's talk about the mining argument, because I don't want to bash the miners. They're doing wonderfully for us, and I love mining, always covered it. But I was interested, anybody who wants to read, Sydney Morning Herald, that's called a newspaper, hard copy, also online. But Thomas Friedman, you'd know him from the US, very respected columnist, 3 Pulitzer Prizes. Fascinating story, which goes right to what you're saying, that the countries that are most innovative are the ones that don't have natural resources, because you get fat and lazy. You're saying resources make you less resourceful. Taiwan, Japan, places like that. That's what you're saying, isn't it? We've sort of fallen back on them. We used to call it the sheep's back, now it's the quarry.
Yeah, well, it's out of, we've gotten complacent, fat and happy, but if you look, that different states are benefiting in different ways from the commodities boom right now. And my argument is that we absolutely have to continue to get every ounce of value we can as a country out of the commodities boom. It's a purple patch in terms of pricing and demand. But at the same time, we have to build the ecosystem conditions, the business conditions.
The business conditions.
The business conditions, the cultural conditions, the educational conditions, the taxation and policy conditions to create billion-dollar business.
You should mention that. Where do you stand on a mining tax then? I mean, this whole idea of maybe taking some of the funds back, a wealth fund or some way putting it into this?
I think it should happen. As long as our mining industry can remain competitive, because there are other developing economies that are coming online that will also be selling commodities. So we need to ensure their competitiveness, but we can, while at the same time, creating this fund that allows us to invest for the next generation.
And of course the irony of our mining is we are world leaders in it. We are innovative. It's one area where we've taken it to the world. We're fantastic at it. It also means that's fewer jobs because we're becoming so technically proficient. So the argument is, I mean, I'm presuming you're not for throwing money at dying car industries here, perhaps?
No, absolutely not. I mean, Australia shouldn't be manufacturing cars.
Oh, hello.
Absolutely not. But if you look at the service industries that employ 85% of the population, they're all information-centric, and they're all being disrupted by technology today. If you look at retail, it's in a slump. If you look at the education...
we're slow to pick up the internet here.
Exactly. If you look at education, now with a networked world, Australian unis are competing with the Stanfords of the world.
We should. That's somewhere we have an advantage. Now, look, before we run out of time, this advanced group, I said the biggest expat group, but do you all support each other in that? I mean, would they all rush home if we became innovative and have multi-billion-dollar industries?
Absolutely. And these people give amazing amounts of time to it. There's 20,000 people Australians across 83 countries.
Shouldn't we be getting them back?
Yes and no. We should be lending them to the rest of the world and then encouraging them to come back with all that experience and knowledge.
Okay, so that's the plan. And I gather you are meeting someone in Canberra to push your message.
I am. I'm meeting Sophie Mirabella.
Right, and you'll be pushing what you've told us here today?
Absolutely.
Do you hold out much hope?
I have to. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an optimist.
Oh, you're an optimist. Okay, and tell us where you can get the book, seeing as you can't buy it in a bookstore. It's not hard copy. Where do you get it?
So if you go to the website, www.blueskyminingbook.com, you can get the book, but you can also post commercialization stories, good and bad. And there's some amazing war stories up on the website.
You're so Silicon Valley. That's what they're all like. I can picture you in a Starbucks with your little white computer going. Lovely to talk to you, Adrian Turner. Go and join the site. Join it. We're all for it. I'll be back again tomorrow night. We've got Mr. Leonard's chickens tomorrow night, something different, but we're on about the food bowl of Asia at the moment, so there's another argument apart from mining. Do tune in. You never know what you're going to get on this show. Bye.
New Swift Sport, hotter than ever.
Expertise is insight. Insight is opportunity. Opportunity is everywhere. Blake Dawson is Ashurst, Australia's new global law firm.
Toyota Buyer's Advantage 2011 model clearance is on now. Get a great deal today with factory bonuses on a range of Australia's favourite cars. See your Toyota dealer while stocks last.
Whether you're working hard or playing hard, RM Williams jeans always ensure you look and feel good. And right now, you can buy 2 pairs of our Australian-made jeans for just $200. RM Williams, wholly Australian-owned.
Tonight on Paul Murray Live, what's wrong with Bob Katter? He's taking a low and desperate road to win a handful of votes in Queensland by bashing same-sex marriage. Only problem is, Bob, your state's already passed civil union laws. Grow up.
Will be worth at least $200 billion.
A free market works best when it's left to be free.
And the takeover would be the biggest ever seen in the industry.